Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. On the day Luo Feng was locked up within Virtual Universe's Thunder Island, in a completely black palace that gave off a terrifying aura. Beneath the palace, Longju Emperor knelt respectfully there, his head on the ground itself. Shahua's son keeps picking trouble with True Yang. A thick powerful voice resounded throughout the endless palace. There were crackling noises. However, he's stupid to find trouble with Luo Feng. He is after all one of the top 10 seedlings recognized from the other geniuses. To make him suffer without any evidence etc. from this matter, that's a joke. In the throne above, an ugly life form covered completely in black scaled armor with a pair of horns on his head. This tall and sturdy scaled life form sat there, his right claw terrifyingly sharp. He casually brushed the armrest, creating the ear-piercing sound. He gave off a formless pressure that emanated throughout. It made people shudder from within. It made people fear him. His finger casually scratching of the rest, he ordered, "Give the order, release Luo Feng." Yes. Longju Emperor knelt there, not looking up at all. Su. He instantly vanished from the virtual universe. Wulong Starfield, the majestic castle in which Yangshu Emperor stayed in, welcomed a guest, Longju Emperor. "Qian, why are you here?" The beautiful Yangshu Emperor was lying in a chair of the 9th floor. Beside him, two beautiful and sexy fantasy spirit ladies were giving him a massage. He sat in a spot where he could see out into the endless space outside, even to the distant endless amounts of floating goods. Yangshu Emperor. Longju Emperor walked over and said seriously, "The top has given the orders to release Luo Feng." "Top? Which top?" Yangshu looked up and glanced at him. "My direct superior, Yumo Knight." Longju Emperor said. Yangshu's eyes twitched when he heard the name. The universe was vast, every universe country leader and knight was still few in numbers. It took extremely long periods of time for one to be born or produced. There were only those few, and amongst them, there were differences in rankings and position. If one said Qiansha Palace's leader was a legend, staying within Qiansha Palace, not making a move for trillions of years, relying solely on his name to dominate, then Yumo Knight was a bloody legend. His name was completely built on slaughter and killing. Even his terrifying body wasn't natural. It changed after his self-created technique morphed it into the best killing construct. He was definitely known within the Virtual Universe Company as a god of death. "I know what to do." Yangshu Emperor frowned. "Yangshu Emperor." Longju smiled, waving his hand for the two fantasy spirit ladies to leave. Yangshu looked at him. Longju Emperor smiled. "We have been together for endless periods of times. I've hardly ever overstepped you. However, this Luo Feng is after all one of the heavily favored geniuses from this generation within our Virtual Universe Company. We only lost 10 million mixed elements. This small lose would definitely never equate to the loss of an absolute genius." "Thanks." Yangshu Emperor's eyes gleamed. He could hear it. Longju Emperor was hinting at him. Luo Feng was one of the exceptional geniuses of this batch of geniuses, referring to all the geniuses in Yuxiong Mountain currently. Without any guarantee, it was best not to mess with him. Otherwise it would enrage the upper echelon of the Virtual Universe Company. "Ha ha, then I'll be leaving." Longju Emperor smiled and left. Yangshu got up personally and sent him off. After a while, Yangshu returned to that stone throne draped with the Devil Clan royalty's 9 mist beast skin. He lay in the soft skin and closed his eyes. This Longju Emperor sure is scheming. He plays the good guy on both sides. He muttered to himself. The 5 managers all represented the 5 Leviathans. The moment a deal exceeded 1 million mixed elements, the 5 would have to audit it together. Over the long periods of time, naturally they formed their own understanding. Like Yangshu Emperor's strength made the others give him some leeway. Normally they wouldn't mess with him. Like the smaller deals. Or to deal with some punks. Against Luo Feng, however, Longju Emperor had a bottom line. Like if Yangshu insisted on sending him to the first Starfield jail hell, he would definitely not agree to it. However, as long as Yangshu didn't cross that line, Longju would naturally let certain things slide. No matter what, his relationship with Luo Feng was shallow. He would allow Yangshu to do anything as long as it didn't go overboard. However, the moment a big deal was involved, no one would go soft. Anything involving the Leviathan's reputation, then these were things they wouldn't back off on. The small matter of locking Luo Feng was but a little ruckus. It's a pity I didn't find any proof. Yang Zhu's eyes gleamed fiercely. If I could falsify evidence to show it was Luo Feng's ploy, that he killed those guards and stole up to 10 million mixed elements worth of bug corpses, then it'd be over for him. The proud disciple would be killed. True Yang would definitely be enraged. He. True Yang, don't be too proud now. His expression warped slightly. I have patience. I will definitely make you suffer, and kill you. As long as I accomplish this, I'm willing to die for it. His eyes gleamed madly. People had always let him get his way. With his father's presence, even the powerful beings were friendly to him. This way of life had spanned over tens of millions of years. It was ingrained within him. Until he met True Yang Emperor. The violent and intrepid True Yang. The one that never submitted to anybody. His greatest blow, standing up over and yet being defeated time and again, even being trampled on, it had caused him to descend into madness. Back then he even howled to his father those words, "Kill True Yang, kill him. If he's not dead, I will die. I cannot live when he's alive." However, his father Shahua Knight simply sent him to the 9th Starfield jail hell. A nightmare for 1,000 years. Within the jail hell for 1,000 years, many blows were much worse than what True Yang had dealt to him. It was simply like hell. However, those blows made him hate True Yang even more. He believed that everything was because of True Yang. The source was him. When he came out of the prison, he had become more steady. However, deep within he still madly believed in his one target. Make True Yang suffer, kill him. I want to make him feel fear, regret and suffer because of me. If I accomplish it, I'll die with no regrets. Wei Nien. Yang Zhu Emperor lay in his throne and said softly. A demonic silhouette appeared. Master. The silhouette bowed. Head to Luo Feng's home, Earth. Yang Zhu ordered, you don't need to do anything, just hide one of my undying crystals there, leave now. Yes, Master. The demonic figure replied respectfully. Wang. Jade green lights engulfed the area and the space rippled. Su. A space pathway instantly appeared and vanished. The demonic figure had left Wulong Starfield via her god country teleportation. True Yang Emperor, I'm an undying, I have time, let's take it slow. He smiled a perfect smile. Drizzle Palace. Luo Feng sat cross-legged within his consciousness within his internal world. Within the vast internal world, the black-clothed Luo Feng was floating above the endless sea. Bug Clan Island, form. Black-clothed Luo Feng pointed down at the endless ocean. Immediately the waters began to churn and howl. With crackling noises, they split apart and pure world energy gathered. 100,000 kilometers area of sea had become endless world energy, after which they came together to form continuous rock. The endless world energy in the air poured in. In an instant, an island with a diameter of 100,000 kilometers was formed. There was mud, grass, mountains, canyons, rivers, etc. It was a very normal continent world. Alina, from today on, you'll live here. The black-clothed Luo Feng ordered, wielding a world ring. Alina was within, transferring her from the center continent to this new island. Yes, Master. The Queen Alina and the Mother Nest landed simultaneously in the island. These are 300 Sector Lord Bugkin units. From what I estimate, you should be able to produce 3 million Tiger Armored Bug soldiers. He said, retrieving large amounts of bug corpses from his world. Even within his internal world, Luo Feng couldn't teleport, unable to instantly bring her from the center continent over. He had to use a storage device to bring her over. 300 units? Alina was curious. Every Sector Lord Bug Corpse unit is made of 100,000 Sector Lord Pinnacle Bug Corpses. Luo Feng explained, the large amount of corpses piled up beside, it became a mountain formed from 30 million Sector Lord Pinnacle Bug Corpses. Wow. The Queen's eyes gleamed, she was getting excited. How's your speed in producing Sector Lord Pinnacle Tiger Armored Bugs? Luo Feng asked. I can produce 10 a day. She said, every Sector Lord Pinnacle Bug has incredible amounts of energy, hence the speed is slow. If it were creating star-level bugs, I can produce them infinitely from the caves in my mother nest. 10 a day? Over 3,000 a year. It'll take 300 years to produce 1 million Sector Lord Army, HM, anyway my training will take long. Luo Feng nodded, then you should begin now. Yes, Master. The Queen Alina was obviously very excited with anticipation. Su. She flew within the mother nest, after which that over 800 m tall round ball floated into the sky, diving into the mountain of corpses. It began producing. The black-clothed Luo Feng watched on silently. After a little over 2 hours, the mountain of corpses slightly shook, and a malevolent bug over 10 stories tall climbed out. It was covered in incredibly thick armor, powerful and intrepid. This Sector Lord Pinnacle Tiger armored bug jumped down when it saw Luo Feng. With a rumble it landed on the ground. It was extremely respectful before Luo Feng. The first tiger armored bug. Luo Feng's eyes were filled with glee. Million Sector Lord army. Luo Feng seemed like he was staring at endless amounts of Sector Lord tiger armored bugs. His blood boiled within as he anticipated excitedly. As for acquiring the corpses from Wulong Starfield's debris, Luo Feng didn't feel any sense of regret from that. When one reached a level of mental stability as Luo Feng's, one would see everything clearly. As for knowing oneself, he saw through the mess, he wouldn't deceive himself. Heart like a mirror, seeing clearly through the mud. Knowing oneself and staying true. Luo Feng was clear on himself, ever since he left Earth to explore the universe, as the strongest of Earth, especially with all the deception in the universe, seeing ancient families get destroyed, entire planets enslaved, even the Gold Horn race being subservient, their unwillingness and unhappiness from deep within their bones. Luo Feng felt a sense of danger. I have to get strong. I have to give my all, fighting for my root. If the root dies, how can the leaves survive? Back then when Luo Feng decided to sacrifice himself with the golden horned beast, he had already taken Earth to be his root. Maybe he was strong and had far exceeded the entire Earth. However, his root was Earth. If the Earth were to perish one day, with all his comrades dying, what would be the meaning in his life of solitude after? Luo Feng knew himself. Back when he immolated his soul to fight the golden horned beast, he knew it already. He had to be a guard. He had to protect his home, his root, Earth. Progress, never-ending progress. I need to keep getting stronger. I will give my all. His eyes were like blades, solid and piercing. The path to becoming strong may result in many situations, like the assassination attempt from the Bug Clan assassin, that flame undying self-destructing and destroying large amounts of bug corpses. Under such circumstances, Luo Feng easily made the decision to grab away 300 units of bug corpses. It probably had no effect whatsoever to the entire Wulong Starfield, however to his growth, it was a huge benefit, and it didn't harm anybody. Why not? Anything that harmed others, he would rarely do. However, if it involved the survival of Earth, even if it meant a few innocent lives, he would slaughter without hesitation. He knew his own heart, doing things without hesitation, straight to the point. Taking away those bug corpses. Slaughtering, so what? Knowing oneself, staying true to it. Only with a steady heart, not affected by outside influence, whether it was to become a slaughtering demon, or a perfect kind person, or an evil person, as long as one was true to his heart, he would go far in his training. And even so, this path was still filled with dangers, like how Luo Feng almost died this time. Pa? 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 There was knocking on the palace's door. Luo Feng, you can come out. Longju Emperor's voice resounded. Luo Feng, who was sitting cross-legged within Drizzle Palace, opened his eyes. They gleamed with glee within. The door of Drizzle Palace opened as 2 Sector Lord guards used their strength to push it. Slowly the door split apart and the silver-armored Luo Feng walked out smiling. Luo Feng, you've suffered this time. Longju Emperor walked over. It's okay. Luo Feng smiled. That Yangzhou Emperor is only a person from the huge axe dojo. I didn't believe he could do anything drastic. Ha ha. Longju Emperor laughed loudly, his laugh resounding throughout the hallways. Your words are right. No matter what, you are still a member of our virtual universe company. And you are the victim this time. His actions were seriously overboard. Luo Feng looked at Dylan beside him. Dylan, I'm prepared to enter Wulong Starfield. Again? Dylan was stunned. I've already paid for 1 million mixed elements worth of goods. Should I just leave it? Luo Feng joked. Longju Emperor nodded. That's a given. This time, I'll personally accompany you and be your guide. How can that be? Luo Feng was surprised. Why not? Longju Emperor asked. When do you want to go? I don't wish to waste any time. How about right now? Luo Feng nodded. Okay, then we'll head out now. Longju Emperor brought 2 white-robed guides to follow Luo Feng in a ship, heading towards the region in Wulong Starfield where they stored the endless bug corpses. Buzz. The space rippled and a ship appeared. The cabin door opened. Luo Feng, Longju Emperor, and 2 white-robed guides flew out. Ah, this is the place where I was attacked. Luo Feng looked at the coordinates on his wrist quantum computer, shocked. We traveled straight here? I remember the last time I was here, the 2 guides had to first bring me to the void region first before flying slowly over. That's the normal rules. Longju Emperor shook his head. I don't need to follow that. Wulong Starfield storage region forbade undyings from entering. However, after Luo Feng was attacked last time, Longju had brought Dylan straight in. Longju Emperor and the other managers had special authority. He. Luo Feng looked about. The marks of the explosion from the flame undying were all gone. Large amounts of units of Sector Lord Bug corpses had filled the area in an orderly fashion. Longju Emperor, it's only been a day. There's already such a change here. Ha ha. Longju Emperor asked, how much of the 200 units have you seen? Half of it. Luo Feng said. Then I'll help you complete it, and after seeing all 200 units, you can choose. Longju Emperor said. Luo Feng flipped his hand and immediately 200 metal cards floated out. With a thought, these 200 became one big pile and a small pile. This small pile is for the units I haven't seen. Ah? Longju Emperor glanced at it, quickly determining the quickest viewing route. Then let's head out. Longju Emperor said. He brought Luo Feng with the two guides and began to fly within the pathways of Wulong Starfield. After half a day, they finished the remaining units, and after going through all 200, Luo Feng had an idea of his top 100. Even though I already have 300 corpse units already, there's still no light at the end of the tunnel. Buying these 100 extra units won't be a waste. Luo Feng thought. Simultaneously he turned to smile at Longju Emperor, saying, Longju Emperor, I've already chosen which 100 units I want. Ah? He looked at Luo Feng. Which 100? These? With a flip of his hand, he produced 100 metal cards. Longju Emperor glanced through them and swiftly compared them with the information he had. He looked shocked at Luo Feng. Impressive, these Sector Lord corpses are all broken apart and hard to distinguish between each other. The 100 units you've chose, according to their quality, is indeed the best 100. Even the internal department information couldn't be too specific. After all, without careful individual examination of each body, with only the most basic differentiation, like top-level, mid-level and low-level goods, this was all information done by the internal department to gain some benefits. Luo Feng's choices, however, had picked all the top-level goods, with some at mid-level. When Longju Emperor passed Luo Feng the metal cards, it was mixed in with all three levels. Can you not bear to sell me these? Luo Feng smiled. Of course not. Longju Emperor turned and threw 50 cards to the two guides. You two, each bring these 50 units over. Yes. The two white-robed guides bowed respectfully and became beams of light, dispersing and searching in the distance. Luo Feng, we just need to wait. He said. HM. Luo Feng frowned. Longju Emperor, I want to know, that assassin Casey, have you found anything on him? Just who it was that wanted to kill me? We've found something, however it's still in the investigation process. Longju Emperor waved his hand and a ship appeared. The cabin door opened. Let's go in and talk. Luo Feng nodded and followed him in. After a while, in the distant Taijin universe country's Lanhai starfield, there was a very normal life planet, Bomo planet. Ripples appeared in its space and a black disc-shaped ship appeared. Its mid-portion opened and three silhouettes flew out. The leader was a purple-armored old man. He gave off terrifying ripples of law energy. He waved his hand and kept the ship, ordering, we have to catch the target, no mistakes. Yes. The two black-armored soldiers bowed respectfully. Head out. The old man ordered. Immediately the two swiftly flew into Bomo planet. Bomo planet was a planet with a diameter of 18,219 kilometers. Its oxygen level reached 36% of all its air. The entire planet's temperature fluctuated, even in the same place on the same day. Morning could be -30 degrees, afternoon could be 50 or 60, however humans' adaptive abilities were amazing. This planet had a population of about 22 billion. And today, there were 3 warriors, 1 Thunder Undying and 2 Sector Lord Pinnacles that entered it. The virtual universe system has already confirmed the location. The purple-armored old man stood on the top floor of a skyscraper, gazing at the city below, ordering coldly, the target is in this city, find him and bring him here. Yes, Captain. The 2 Sector Lords bowed respectfully. The two simultaneously released their world energy and easily engulfed the vast city that was just over 100 kilometers in area. Whatever happened in the city, evil in the darkness, new lives being born in the hospital, couple squabbles, affection, weaker warriors training hard, whatever there was. Everything was incredibly clear. Target locked on. Locked on. The 2 Sector Lords confirmed the target's location simultaneously. Within an old skyscraper, there was a green-haired man wearing a consciousness transfer helmet, connected to the virtual universe network. Su! Su! The two sector lords immediately became beams of light and flew past tens of kilometers of distance, reaching that little room and easily capturing that green-haired man. Captain, we've already. The sector lord's transmission had just begun when, suddenly, an incredibly terrifying energy exploded from beneath the ground of the city, rumble. The entire city was instantly reduced to dust, following which the energy seemed to instantly engulf the entire planet, whether it was the seas, lands, mountains, they were all split apart. The explosion in the center core of the planet tore apart space itself. The entire life planet had instantly become a disaster. In the space above. Rumble. Rumble, rumble. Three silhouettes rushed through tens of thousands of kilometers standing above, gazing at Bombo Planet. This planet's endless debris and dust floated. The planet had been severely plowed through. Its residents were at most only star level 9. They couldn't avoid this at all. Captain. The two sector lords had blood on their lips. Their bodies swiftly recovered as they looked at their captain. The target is dead. The lead is gone. The purple-armored old man gazed at the planet. Let's go. The two sector lords looked at the life planet, sighing within. They sat in the universe ship and left, leaving behind the mess of Bombo Planet, the 22 billion population, 0 survivors. Wulong Starfield. Within the Sector Lord Bug Corp's region, the ship stopped within the space pathway. Luo Feng, Luo Feng. Longju Emperor ran to the resting quarters. Hua. The door opened. Longju Emperor? Luo Feng looked suspiciously at Longju Emperor. We just got the news. His expression was heavy and serious. Our virtual universe company checked up on Case's actions and movement before in the virtual universe network, like his mail, conversations, etc. We finally found a very small lead and followed it. We were preparing to go capture an important figure. However, during the capture, the planet he was on simply exploded and all 22 billion of its people were killed. What? Luo Feng's expression changed. 22 billion. HM. Longju Emperor nodded his head heavily. Yes, according to our interaction with the other races before, such vicious methods should be from the Bug Clan infiltration organization. Bug Clan? Luo Feng expression changed. HM. He nodded. The Bug Clan is proficient in invading and controlling the souls of many life forms, hence their infiltration organization is hard to deal with, and the moment there is a problem with any of their pawns, they would immediately cut them off and sacrifice everything, in the meantime exacting their revenge. Causing an entire planet to become a catastrophe, this is a form of revenge. However, in spite of that, we still have to check on the leads. Even if we fail hundreds to thousands of times, as long as we succeed once, we'll be able to do heavy damage to the organization that has cost them countless resources to build. Luo Feng took a deep breath. 22 billion people, all the life on a life planet. All gone like that. The exchanges between races were indeed brutal. You have to be careful. It's obvious you are already on their kill list. Longju Emperor emphasized. I understand. Luo Feng nodded his head seriously. Bug Clan? He didn't expect to acquire the mother nest and after be targeted by the Bug Clan themselves. Of course the two had no relation at all. No matter who it is or wants me dead, they can keep dreaming. Even if I die, I'll make sure I hit them hard before I do. Luo Feng swiftly pondered on the best ways to deal with the Bug Clan assassination attempts. His quantum computer calculation speeds allowed him to think of countless possibilities. For example, allowing the Mosha clansmen to carry the main core and stay in a safe place while the Earth body explores. This seemed like the safest way, however he crossed this out immediately. If his Earth body were to be killed one time, many would think that he was actually dead. The virtual universe company would know this too. And if such a thing happened and he created yet another Earth body, another Luo Feng would appear. Even an idiot would know there was something up with Luo Feng. A domain lord could never have an undying body. Only if I keep the main core with me will I be able to deal with such a situation. However, that has its dangers as well. Luo Feng pondered. After pondering for 3 seconds, Luo Feng already came up with his answer. It was the best he could think of at the moment. Just like that. Luo Feng nodded. After chatting with Longju Emperor for a while, Longju returned to his own room. After all, the two white-robed guides required about 3 days of time to collect the 100 units of bug corpses. Luo Feng and Longju naturally wouldn't be chatting around for all 3 days. They returned to their rooms to rest. Within the room, Luo Feng sat in a chair and sent a thread of his consciousness into the virtual universe network. Yuxiong Mountain Primal Region, Luo Feng's study. He sat before his desk and looked at the laptop, entering the treasure trove folder, and the screen displayed techniques, weapons, treasures, technological weapons, materials, tools, life forms and other special things, 8 categories. Luo Feng immediately opened the treasures folder. He quickly found a world. World Villa, 0.02 to 0.1 mixed elements. World House, 0.1 to 0.3 mixed elements. World Belt, 0.3 to 3 mixed elements. World Ring, 0.5 to 10 mixed elements. The different types all had specific details. These were items with worlds within them. The larger their size, the cheaper they were. Just like Luo Feng's first examination from the Universe Mercenary Alliance, he entered that world within that villa. The entire world was within that villa. To compress an entire world, naturally the smaller one had to compress it, the harder it got. A belt able to hold an entire world within. If one wanted to put an entire world into a ring, then the materials used had to far exceed that of the belt. Hence, the cost of creating a world wasn't exactly very high. Sector lords and above could all do it. The only thing was the size. To create a world ring, however, this was the most expensive. Even the cheapest within the virtual universe company's treasure trove was 0.5 mixed elements. 0.5 to 10 mixed elements, this represented the different space within. The smallest was a world with an area of 10,000 kilometers. The largest was 100 million kilometer. And the ring he was given in Wulong Starfield was 100,000 kilometers in area. The price of that ring was about 1 mixed element. To the clients that paid up to 1 million mixed elements, giving a world ring was nothing. As for Rubbish Mountain, it was too much to handle. However, the prices of the world rings was many times more than a space ring. Because the space rings, almost all universe levels had them, even star levels had them. However, a Sector Lord Pinnacle Warrior would on average have a fortune of about 10 mixed elements. Normally they would spend half of it on training, weapons, armor, techniques and part of it on a ship. For them to spend 10% of that on a world ring was impossible. They'd rather use their own internal world, creating a world house within. When they become undying, they can then use more valuable materials and absorb that house into a world ring. Hence, under undying level, very few actually use world rings, unless they had huge backgrounds or wealth. Purchase world ring. F10 model, 100 million kilometer wide and high. Luo Feng swiftly ordered. The Primal Region members had a 30% discount. They only needed to pay 7 mixed elements. Your Majesty Luo Feng, your location is confirmed to be on Wulong Starfield. We will send it there immediately. A gentle lady's voice resounded. No need at the moment. When I request for you to send it, you can do it then. Luo Feng ordered. Yes, Your Majesty Luo Feng. Closing the laptop, he revealed a smile. With the extra-large world ring, when he left the storage area of Wulong Starfield and acquired it, his plan could begin. Bug Clan? Want to kill me? HMPH, I'd rather hibernate for 1,000,000 years than follow the steps of those geniuses. Luo Feng thought the percentage of geniuses falling was very high. One was because this path to become strong was in itself very dangerous. Secondly, geniuses were envied, with other clans trying to kill them. Any power within each race would face dangers. After this incident, Luo Feng was even more cautious. On the 4th day after the 2 white-robed guides went to search for Bug Clan corpses, they finally returned. The cabin door of the ship opened. Lord. The 2 stood in space and bowed respectfully at Longju Emperor. You've brought them? Longju looked at them. Yes, Lord. The 2 instantly retrieved all the corpses they had searched for. The empty space beside suddenly had 2 corpse mountains, both 10 kilometers tall. Luo Feng looked at the 2 mountains floating there, nodding his head. After which he absorbed them into this internal world. As the action of absorbing into his world ring, an internal world was exactly the same, triggering world ripples. Hence back then he had placed the mother nest into his internal world and now the mountains of bug corpses. Luo Feng, with the corpses in hand, there's no more problem. These are the 100 units you've chosen. Longju smiled at Luo Feng. Ha ha, of course there's no problem. Luo Feng nodded and smiled. As for the other 100 metal cards, he had already returned them to Longju Emperor. With the corpses in hand, do you want to head to Rubbish Mountain to search for treasures? Longju looked at Luo Feng. Actually, he accompanied Luo Feng only out of habit and courtesy. He wouldn't offend anyone with any power. These past few days meant little to him. However, if Luo Feng decided to go search for treasures, that would take much longer. Luo Feng naturally saw through Longju's intentions, smiling. It's rare that I come here, and with the world ring you gave me, I definitely have to go search for treasures at Rubbish Mountain. However, Longju Emperor, you've already accompanied me enough these past few days. Your 2 guides will suffice for when I go search for treasures. That's good. Longju Emperor nodded without any hesitation. You 2 follow Luo Feng. Remember, the moment you discover anyone else close by on the map, immediately get away. No one is to get close to you all. Longju Emperor emphasized. Yes, Lord. The 2 complied. Then I'll be leaving. I wish you the best of luck in getting a heavenly treasure. Longju laughed loudly. The attack from before. Luck is just like that. Good luck will come after the bad. After being attacked in Wulong Starfield, this was an incident that hasn't happened in the past 100 million years. Its chances are even much lower than acquiring treasure in Rubbish Mountain. Luo Feng said so too. If even an attack can happen, looks like getting a treasure is possible. Then I'll be leaving. Longju Emperor nodded, after which he sat in his ship and swiftly became a beam of light amongst the distant space pathways. The 2 white-robed guides stood beside Luo Feng respectfully. One of them said, Your Majesty, there are rubbish mountains all throughout Wulong Starfield. Where will you begin your search? Let's go through universe travel and randomly pick a spot. Luo Feng shook his head and smiled. This place where I just got attacked probably is my bad luck region. Sitting in the ship, Luo Feng then randomly picked a spot. After traveling a while, they found a couple of rubbish mountains. Without going there, he wouldn't have known. Luo Feng got a shock as he entered the mountains. It was filled with worthless remains. Of course, even though they were considered worthless, they were still worth a lot more than the diamonds of Earth. These were still remains of the outer region wars. However, even if it filled the entire 100k area world ring, it probably wouldn't even be worth 0.1 mixed elements. 0.1 mixed elements was after all able to buy a normal galaxy. Treasure hunt, it all depends on luck. Let's go, universe travel. Luo Feng was in a good mood, almost like he wasn't at all affected by the assassination or Yangshu Emperor before. This was also a display of his mental state training. To the nearest stop point. Luo Feng ordered. Yes, Your Majesty. Luo Feng. The 2 white-robed guides complied. The ship immediately returned to the actual universe. The surrounding region was mostly empty. In the distance was endless goods. Amongst them there would occasionally be majestic mountains of rubbish. Their size towered over the goods. Luo Feng frowned. He could feel a faint calling from somewhere. It entered his entire body. Every cell within began to boil. What's going on? Luo Feng gazed into the distance. In that direction, it felt like there was a magnetic field acting on his body. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.